Yesterday we started the Halacha of Tefilat HaDerech, the prayer that we say before we travel. Now, the prerequisite in order for us to know if we need to say this prayer or not is the following. If we are traveling, as the Gemara says, a shi'ur parsa, which means 72 minutes of traveling. If an individual is going to travel for 72 minutes, now, the interesting part is it doesn't matter how you're going to travel. If you decide you're going to travel by foot, so 72 minutes is already Tefilat HaDerech. Now, there's one more prerequisite. So firstly, it's 72 minutes. Secondly, it doesn't matter how you travel. If it's by foot, if it's by bicycle, motorcycle, car, plane, train, anything, boat, any way you want to travel. Now, by donkey if you want to travel by donkey. The next prerequisite is that it has to be traveling from city to city. Meaning, if I travel within Hollywood or Miami, or even though it's considered separate cities, it's really one big city. That's not considered a prerequisite to require Tefilat HaDerech. When you're traveling and you're going, if we're saying by car, it's on a highway and it's to a completely different city. Even though there's cities along the way, one would say Tefilat HaDerech. We're going to speak about Birkat HaGomel, but let's start first with Tefilat HaDerech. Tefilat HaDerech is the prayer that we say when we start our voyage, when we start our journey, and we make it. When we're going to travel for 72 minutes, that's when we're going to make the Brachat and Baruch Atah Hashem Shomea Tefilah. If not, and a person wants to feel like they want to beseech God and request from HaKadosh Baruch Hu success and safety and help for their journey, they're allowed to make the Tefilat HaDerech without a bracha. Now the question is, when do we make this bracha of Tefilat HaDerech? So when we're talking about driving, although we know we're not supposed to do any type of brachot or prayers while we're driving, specifically we always say Birkat HaMazon or Amidah, but to stop in the middle of the highway to do Tefilat HaDerech is not something which is safe, unless you're able to pull over onto a shoulder, but most don't do that. Most just continue for saying Tefilat HaDerech. So when you're driving, it's once you get on the highway and you are now starting your 72-minute count, that's ideally when you should do your Tefilat HaDerech. If you forgot to say it then, you can still say it later, as long as you still didn't get to the destination. Now on a plane, normally, traditionally, we do the Tefilat HaDerech on the runway of the plane, or while the plane is taking off, or even right after the plane is taken off. Any of that would be allowed to do Tefilat HaDerech. Now, if your trip is less than 72 minutes, you're not going to do Tefilat HaDerech with Hashem's name. You're going to skip out that last part of Baruch Atah Hashem Shomea Tefilah. You'll just say Baruch Shomea Tefilah. That's when it comes to the Tefilat HaDerech. One last thing I'll mention for Tefilat HaDerech is we always say it in a plural format. We don't say Yehi Ratzon Milefanecha Hashem Elokai Velokei Avotai Shtatzileni. No, it's always Tatzilenu. Even if you're traveling alone, you're obviously not alone on the road, and that's why you are saying this prayer. So we always say the Tefilat HaDerech in a plural format and not in a singular format, and that's whether one's traveling alone or for others. If one wants to do the Tefilat HaDerech and acquit others, let's say we're going a whole trip, whether it's a car or whether it's a bus, one person can get up and say it on behalf of everybody. Everybody should listen, and if he's making a bracha, should answer Amen. But everyone has the right to do it on their own, or you can do it all together. B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will keep us safe in all of our travels. La'avodato yitbarach. Amen.